Thank you.
Very much. You're very welcome, Mervis Jean-Paul. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you making out time to have conversation with me today. I have observed the things you do from afar, and I watch you, and I can see that obviously you have got goals, aspirations, plans, and you are working towards them daily, one step at a time. So I just want to ask, and what is it that drives you to do the things you do, and what is it that motivates you? Let me start with that.
I think thank you so much. Most of things I guess today, what we are today, is because we took time to meet people like you along the way. I have to mention this. I do remember years ago I was actually working in church together, and
Mm-hmm.
we've and I learned some of the values that I learned from you, from Dr. Miles Monroe, from Joel Osteen, from countless people. And one of the things that I'll say today that drives me, I'll say it's more of adding value to people. I
Great.
realize that adding value to people, one of the things that really drives me is adding value to people, because then I understand that the value you add on to other is the respect, or is the fulfillment that I get. As long as I can still learning myself and adding value to other people, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually moving forward. And I'm also driven by equality. Equality. When I mean equality, I don't mean like everyone on the same page, but equality of opportunities for
Mm-hmm.
youth all over, and not equality of outcome. It means like everyone to be given almost the same opportunity, but the
Mm-hmm.
level of using it and the outcome of it that come from one person to another. In
Mm-hmm.
other places, equity, but mostly I'm driven by adding value to people. I'm actually also, driven by equality in society,
Mm-hmm.
uh, closing cleavages, closing gaps that are in between people. Mostly not in the terms of social, putting everyone on the same line, no, but at least making sure that everyone has an opportunity. And from that opportunity, you drive it and you take out of it anything that you find good according to your capacity and abilities.
If I understand you clearly, I'll try as much as I can not to cut you short. But
Very
I
good.
like two things that you have said: adding value and equality. I constantly emphasize to people that money flows in the direction of services and value added. So the more you're able to add value to people, the more you're able to render services to people, the more money flows in your direction. So it's happy to know that you are driven by the desire to add value. So, and I also like the fact that you said that you are driven by the desire for equality, equal opportunities for everyone. Let me ask you quickly. You have lived outside your country before. You've lived in Turkey, you've traveled a couple of places around the world. And do you think that the world provides equal opportunity for everyone? For someone like you who's from Africa, for someone like me, for women, for young people, do you think the world provides equal opportunity?
Definitely no. Definitely no. The world doesn't work like that. I wish the world was like that. I
Mm.
wish like we had a world that's provided. I think that's the promises of democracy. We live in most of us live in democratic countries, democratic states, and is the idea of democracy equal opportunity for everyone, a liberal society where we believe that everyone, all men are born equal, liberal societies. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So when I say the fight is to find equal opportunity, I'm quite sure it's something that is hard to attain because
Mm-hmm.
there are always social classes in society. But if we can make a gap, if we can close some gaps and allow some people, talented people, people who are driven, people who have actually courage to go after their dreams, to reach at least the opportunity of trying, I think I will have reached at least some point of fulfillment for me. It means giving young people as me the almost the same kind of opportunity that I had to
Mm-hmm.
reach until here, and that's the fight I actually I put on with almost every day.
So if I understand something here, You said it's the
Democracy.
promise of democracy, and you
Yes.
use the word it's an idea. So you are saying that equal opportunity, it's not realistic.
Not realistic. It's for
Uh,
dreamers. It's for
you are
dreamers.
you are a profound politician.
Yeah, it's for dreamers because in society, even in democracy, we tend to have social classes. We have elites and we have commoners. We have people who work in society daily, but we have also a group of people who take decisions, who are elected to take decision. And those people, when are elected to take decision, the first of thing they'll try is to bring their family, bring their acquaintances, and that's the fight we have to put up with every day.
Do you know that as you rise in politics,
Yes.
someone will one day pull this video out and say that the president, I believe that one day you will aspire for presidency in your country.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
You know,
We pray-
do you know that one day someone will call you up and say, you are trying to promise equal opportunity because you will also promise equal opportunity
Yes.
by then. So, do you know that someone will pull out this video and say to you, you said it's not realistic? How would you make it realistic?
Very good. So that's why I said equal opportunity, but not equal outcome.
Hmm.
It means we have to reach a level in which we put a state. We put what we call, I think, in academical terms, we call it inclusive political society. It means inclusive, where everyone have the right to run, everyone have the right to try at least. But the outcome, I cannot promise the outcome, the same outcome for everyone. So I know
Hmm.
in the future, I know in maybe 5 years, 10 years, down the line, maximum 15 years, I'll be running for certain positions, and someone also will pull out the same video and ask the same question as you said. And what I can promise people is not that I'll put everyone equal. That's not true. With the little of experience I've had, that's not true. But what I can say, what I can promise, and what I'm fighting for is actually the equality of opportunity, not of outcomes. In making sure that everyone have access on certain basis of things, but the outcome I cannot promise. So yeah, in the future I will stand by my words. Opening school for everyone, quality school for everyone, hospital for everyone, jobs for everyone. But at least everyone will use what has been given or the capacity that they have to rise as far as they can. I think that's what's realistic in politics, and we don't tell people when we are running campaigns.
I know that in politics and in every aspect of life, loyalty is an essential element, an essential ingredient to
Definitely.
function and to function effectively in any system. What how would you define loyalty for you? And when you are loyal to people, what do you expect out of loyalty? And how do you give loyalty to people?
There is Machiavelli who said, this is Machiavelli if I'm not wrong. He said about it is a mistake for a leader. It is a mistake for a leader to put his trust in the people. I know
Hmm.
this is controversial. It is a mistake for a leader to put his trust in the people. So when you have to talk about loyalty, as a leader, you have to be loyal to your values. This
Hmm.
is both more than the people you serve. You have to be loyal to your values, your principle and values. That goes above the people, above the country, and above any other thing except God.
Hmm. You have
Because
to be
people
loyal to your principles.
and values.
I'm gonna say that someone needs to come online and invite other people to be part of this conversation. I did
Definitely.
expect the conversation to be very interesting. Like I said, Mervis Jean-Paul is a very smart young man. We worked together here in Turkey for some years ago, and you can hear already if you're watching that he's saying things that are really very wonderful. He's challenging stereotypes. He's challenging stereotype conversations and stereotype definitions of ideas. And so I just want to encourage you to invite someone else to join in and let's continue to share in the well of knowledge. And And you have mentioned something about loyalty first to your values and principles and not loyalty to people. Now, so that means, or should that mean, that at some point, if someone does not share, maybe if you're loyal to somebody, but he no longer shares values and principles with you, that you have the right to end that loyalty.
Definitely, definitely. This is the point. Even the people, not just someone, even the people, even your entire constituency. There
Mhm,
is one thing with loyalty with yourself and principles, to your value and to your principles. Why?
mhm,
Because then you operate in a place of strength, first of
mhm,
all. Secondly, you're operating not in a place of contradiction.
mhm,
And thirdly, you're operating, you can even operate when you're resting. When you know your value, when people knows that if we go to Mervis or if we go to Mr. George Chigozie, we know that if we find him, one will remain one in the morning and in the evening, then people learn to trust you and people learn to adjust themselves to you. It is the same thing goes with if you have to take the difference between what we call one character or one as a principle. One plus one equal two. The same
mhm.
one plus one equal two in China, in Kenya, and so on. So in Congo. So if people can trust you and get to a point where you are one on your principle, people knows that corruption might not pass with Shembo, corruption might not pass with Mr. Chigozie, then they already know they can trust you and they can give you power. The day they choose not to trust you due to your values and moral, you have won, not lose people.
Now, do you think that we have principled politicians across Africa? Do you have
Well,
We have principled politicians and politicians with strong values that will enhance our desires or that will give us our desire as Africans? Do you think we have principled politicians?
yes, surely, surely we do have some. Surely, as you have it is in US or in any other place in the world, you have some people who can stand on their principles, and there's some people who can stand on the trend and the current situations. People who try and stand on their principle go further, might stay in the game for more than 30, 40 years, because
Hmm.
then people know when to run to. People who change according to circumstances, when the circumstances change, they change, and so also people change them too.
Hmm. So you're saying that principled people last longer in any system.
In any system, they last longer. And if people change, if somebody change according to circumstances, after circumstances change, people change him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they
Mm-hmm.
understand that his timing is over, and his
Mm-hmm.
character cannot take him to the next step. There's somebody who wrote a book about what take you here won't take you there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, what take you here won't take you there. Is because the principle, it's because circumstance changes, but the principle stays the same. The road is still the same to there, but the principle change as you go. So this is I know this is a little bit, yeah. So the road is still the same, but certain things change. As a leader, as a political leader, you have to make sure that one thing, the road remain the same. It means people knows your fight. What you're
Mm-hmm.
fighting remain the same, the way to attain it might change, but people knows that we know this person, we know the way he operates, and he doesn't change when interests change.
Hmm. So
And that's
let's not talk too much about politics now.
very
In
good.
personal lives, in people's personal lives, how important is loyalty?
I think that's the key to anything, the trust actually, even just people life in our organization and in everyday activities. Loyalty is knowing that we can rely on you.
Hmm.
It means that we can rely on you, and we know that you won't change due to circumstances,
Hmm.
and you won't change due to situation.
Hmm.
And most of the time, loyalty bring out security.
Loyalty
Loyalty,
produces security.
surely. When
Hmm.
you have a partner or you're talking to someone and they knows that they can trust you or they can like you're a lawyer, definitely they feel open to you, and they can
Okay.
literally as much as I can open up to you because they believe that you might not be a different person in few hours.
Hmm. That's quite intriguing. I'm trying to understand, something to be loyal. It takes a lot.
Definitely.
It takes a lot to be
Def-
loyal. So when you find out that someone you've been loyal to is no longer deserving of it, what do you do?
Personally, this is actually a question that goes literally in the campaign. We find that, and even a personal relationship, I find it actually the most important things I try to ask myself: was I blind when I trusted him, or am I wrong? Yeah, am I wrong from the current situation? And that's the first question: was I blind, or was I blindsided when I
Hmm.
trusted, or am I wrong? Am I perceiving the current situation wrongly?
Hmm.
He might be right, but I might be wrong in my perception because I
Hmm.
feel. And then the third point is it just a mistake or a behavior that
Hmm.
continue? So in the first,
Is it just a mistake or a behavior?
yeah, a pattern that I didn't see.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
if I was blindsided, as I said, if I was blindsided and he's been that before, then lucky me, I learned to take new precautions.
Hmm.
If my perception is wrong, I'll have to question myself
Hmm.
and maybe ask for advice or maybe try to see. As you take 6 and 9, it depends on where you stand. It's
Yeah.
6 if you stand in front. It's 9 if you stand backward. So perception of the situation influences the way you see things and the way you give people credit.
Hmm. So
So
people have to have the right perception at the right time to
yeah,
give the right credit.
definitely. Quick judgment destroy friendship and destroy lasting relationship. So you
Quick
have to,
judgment.
yeah. So you have to ask your question. You have to ask yourself question. If I was not blindsided, then maybe my perception is a problem.
Hmm.
And
If I was
my
not blindsided, maybe my perception was the
yeah,
problem.
and that's the hardest part is to question oneself. The hardest of everything is question oneself. We often come to the table with the idea I'm right and this guy is wrong and he did this or he's a dog. Often, as people say, why
Hmm.
is he? He's a dog. Why is he barking on you?
Hmm. Hmm. So you think that one of the hardest things for people to do is to question themselves on prejudices and their own stereotypes. And I
It's
want to
easy
ask
to
you a
judge.
question. I know
Yes.
that critical thinking and constructive
This
personal constructive criticism is one of the hardest things to do. And
definitely.
so, how do you personally criticize yourself? How do you do critical thinking and critical, understanding of yourself so that you don't have the wrong perception?
Personally, I work on two bases. First of all, to make sure that I'm not into putting myself into a wrong perception. First
Hmm.
of all, I don't come to the table thinking that I'm right.
Okay.
I usually tell myself, I might be, and then you might even be right,
Hmm.
but you're wrong with the time.
Hmm. Might be
You might be
right.
right,
You might be
but
right
wrong
with
with
the
the time.
ideology, but you might be
Yeah,
wrong with the timing of the presentation of the ideology.
definitely. So the first of thing I make sure is I have all the questions right. I ask all the good questions.
Hmm.
Perception goes with the good questions. You can ask questions, but they are good questions. The difference between questions and good questions is good questions have an intention behind. You
Yeah.
ask questions with an intention to understand, not so you can respond. I
Hmm.
question myself with the idea of understanding the situation, not so
Hmm.
I can judge somebody from the situation.
Hmm. You
That's the
question.
first.
You ask questions to understand, not questions to respond.
Definitely.
Okay. Let me let
And
me let me move away from that and ask you about your vision. What is your personal vision and what are your personal aspirations?
personally, my personal vision is actually leading, building a structure. That's
Mm-hmm.
though actually other multiple platform or other organization to lay onto, but surely to reduce the cleavages, that reduce the cleavage, the gap in
Mm-hmm.
society, in intellectually, financially, and socially. I'm not repeating in a simple, very simple way.
Mm-hmm.
Building, building
Okay.
structures or organizations
Mm-hmm.
that allow also other people to reduce the cleavage, social cleavages or gaps between people, and actually help other people to reach their aspiration. That might be financially, socially, and intellectually. It means
Okay.
that building school, if I have to be in simple terms, building schools, building hospitals,
Okay.
building a country or a state or a society in which people can live with less gap, wealth disparity, where everyone is able at least to bring some food home.
Hmm.
That's the society I'm working on to. That's the plan and the vision that I have, and that might be for my country, also for Africa and the world. Mostly my country and Africa. That's where my vision is, and that's the fight has been I've been actually carrying on.
I like the fact you said my country and Africa and, if possible, the world. So
Yes, definitely,
it's obvious that you think that Africans must have African vision Africa, and then when our goals align with the world, we align, right?
definitely. And when they don't align, we stand on our principles, and that's been the mistake, if not the error we have been actually perpetrating through generations.
Okay.
We try to conform into what the world give us, and while we're conforming we usually forget about what we have.
Hmm.
Other
So
people. Mhm. Go ahead, go
on a
ahead, go ahead, go ahead,
personal
sir.
term, I'm gonna go back to the to African. On a personal term, what you are saying is that people must first of all make sure that they stand with their principles,
Definitely, even the
and
country.
in the country, and
Yes,
when it does not align with other people, don't try to conform.
definitely
So
don't
going back to your initial thoughts, those who stand with their principles, even when it does not conform with the current trend, will last longer.
definitely. That's why we call them institutions. They don't change by moods or emotion of people. They are
Hmm,
institutions. Like we say the governments or we say the country is an institution, it means it doesn't change according to mood or circumstances.
hmm,
It stands still, and that's why it have a credit to be respected by other countries.
hmm. So you're saying that now that's a lot. That's a lot that we're going to try to process. Now you're
Definitely,
saying that one of the biggest problems in Africa is we do not have principled institutions.
definitely.
We
With
have
us,
institutions that dance and conform to European standards, even
to
when these things don't align with our principles, customs, and values. Is that what you're trying to say?
I wouldn't limit it to European standard. I will limit to anybody who has money to influence politicians.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is where we have like the fight we're having today in Africa, the oil problem we're having, the emission of gas.
Mm-hmm.
Some other countries actually emit a lot of gases, a lot of gas, if I have to say sorry, gas, a lot of gas
Mm-hmm.
around, pollute actually
Mm-hmm.
their state and stuff. And then they come to Africa asking us actually that we shouldn't use what we've been given as tree and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they pay two people the money, and we put restriction on not using what we have. And definitely I understand that. I understand we have to think of humanity and stuff. But first of all, what where do we stand? Why are we not using what we have? Is it because people actually is it because people promise they'll give us money, or because we believe in climate change?
Hmm.
And if
Hmm.
we don't believe, yeah, that's the problem.
So you're
Do we feel
saying it's not
yes?
that we believe in climate change, it's just
No.
that some group of people somewhere have the money to influence us, hence we go with it. Now that's a lot of
Definitely.
challenge for African leaders then.
Definitely. We are blessed with a rich soil. We are blessed with petrol. If you see Nigeria, That's one of the best country in Africa and well blessed with oil. And we, apart from that, we're building, surely people are building houses, but there's still places where we have green places. We have
Mhm.
forests, green places. And we're still having that. But if you travel in some country in Europe or in the US or in other places, you find they don't respect the green that they are asking actually from us.
Hmm.
But we are pushing our people back, and I respect and I really believe in climate change. But this was one of the example. Let me take another one. LGBT. Respectfully, I respect everyone, and I respect actually every choice that everyone carry out to make. But when you come into African culture, it's something that might happen maybe in the dark, but not
Mhm.
something that we promote into Congress or in different
Mhm.
places. These are
Mhm.
different that we are buying stuff or taking stuff into our people. We are losing our own identity, who we
Mhm.
are, what we have. We devalue what we have in our hands
Mhm.
to because it takes works to become. So we try to cheat the works to become to get things from people.
Hmm. So,
Quick
if I
fixing.
get you right, you are
Yes.
mentioning gay rights, right?
Yeah, I
And,
respect them.
and you're saying it does not align with African customs, it does not align with African system. That's what you're trying to say. But
What? Yeah, I would say this: if it's ingrained in us, if we have it in our society, then it will sprout up by itself. The US or any other country in the world does not have the monopoly or does not have to tell us, hey, you have to accept gay people. They
hmm,
don't have to tell us that. If we had it in our society, it will sprout by itself. So
hmm,
the fact of raising that and forcing that to people definitely put people in a position of, first of all, defending themselves
hmm,
and try to take attention on that. Or maybe you might even have some gay people who live freely in the country. But the moment you put a light on it, or the US or Europe and any other country put a light on it, that becomes a situation
hmm,
because the influence come from outside. The way they have to tell us how to use our minerals, how to
hmm.
use our society, how to who should marry who and stand where, what mineral we have the right to exploit at what quantity. Uranium, you don't have to use these like uraniums and all different type of minerals. All these small things that we get from outside block the way we develop ourselves.
Hmm.
We
Wow.
have to define ourselves. Sovereignty, defining who we are, where the country should go, and what the best course of action for our people.
How do we apply that to an individual? Because we know that in the concept of building a nation, the concept of running a nation, also sometimes you need to be able to bring these things into people's personal realities, personal
Definitely,
space, where someone
definitely,
will say to themselves that I don't believe in this principle, but we know money is powerful.
definitely.
How
So
can
powerful.
someone resist buying an idea presented to them by a powerful person with finances when they don't have those finances themselves, when they are languishing in pain, languishing in hunger, languishing in sickness? How can they resist?
And this is I'm gonna ask. I don't know if I should I respond it in two level, a country level or individual level.
Let's
Which
start with
which
an individual level. Let's start with an individual level.
definitely in individual level, there are things like you find yourself in a situation. This is everyone. You find yourself in a situation you need money, but what is being asked from you, it's something that will really go against your moral.
Mhm.
And it's at that point you have to ask yourself a question: Do I believe in do I believe in my value and principle, or do I find a way to ease myself with the circumstance with the money that I can get? The moment you open a door to ease yourself for the situation because you need money, then you
Mhm.
have lost principle and you won't use the money
Hmm.
because the money you're asking for is the money to help you to stay in your principle. And the
Hmm.
principle you're sacrificing is the principle that you need for the money for. I'm gonna give a short. I think Washington. Washington says actually the people who choose security over freedom, because freedom is a principle, and security is how do I say is a convenience. The people who
Mhm.
choose conveniency of the time more than a principle will soon end up not having the conveniency nor the
Mhm.
principle. So as the money, when you face a dilemma that requires money and you must do something that goes out of your principle, out of morality, then at the end you're gonna lose either the money and either your principle. You don't get both.
So I think to an extent, a lot of people don't really care about their principles in life. A large
That's
percentage of people don't care about principles in life because
yeah.
when you've been beat down by hunger, by sickness, by all emotional stress of life and everything, you really just want to care about survival. So I think on a continental level, African continent, on African nations level, and any developing countries, I must say, it is important that we understand that the fight for survival must be fought in a way that the people that will come after us will see that they were based on principles, not that we were fighting for our not that we were fighting for to feed ourselves at that point, but that we were fighting to leave a generation that is with principle and that generation that can stand tall and compete anywhere in the world. I think that is part of what our leaders need to understand. It's not about solving the immediate. Can show that when we solve this problem now, it does not rear its ugly head in a bigger and more grandiose way.
And that require values because if the circumstances, this is the problem we have in some. I'm not gonna mention the country. Well, this is a case that is known actually almost everywhere. In Zimbabwe, for instance, sorry, I have to mention this because this is known everywhere. There was a company that wanted to buy actually it's a mineral place that they
Mhm,
needed to buy, and the government needed money.
mhm,
Government needed almost it was I think 15 to 25 million dollar that the government needed. No, the
mhm,
government needed $10 million, and they sold a place that was able to generate every 3 months $25 million.
hmm,
They sold it to a person for $10 million. For the
hmm,
moment, they needed the money.
hmm.
So when the money was actually given to them, after 3 months, the company was actually putting in $25 million
On monthly basis.
on trimester. After 3 months, the company was bringing back $25 million. But
Wow.
since the government needed $10 million in an emergency, they sold a mineral career to give it to a company that
Do
was
you
actually
do you believe in all honesty that the government did not know what they were doing? Do you know that? Do you believe in all honesty that the government, the people were involved, were not trying to profit?
no.
That.
We know that. We know that. And those decisions are made mostly when there is a regime change, when there's going to be election coming, when
Mhm.
there's going to be new regime coming. So people change, people sell things cheaply, state good cheaply, because they know that tomorrow they might not be elected again.
Wow, that's a lot of
Yeah.
greed, I must say. That's a lot
And
of greed, a lack of patriotism. Now let's move forward to something that is quite. What do you is the key problems of leadership around the world? We see crises all over the places. What do you think is are the basic problems of leadership around the world? You're a young man aspiring for the top office in your country, which I know that with the right resources you would attain, and with the right people around you, I know that your country will be in good hands. But right now, while you are pursuing that position, aspiring and preparing for it, what do you see as a young man to be the key problems around the globe?
I will explain it. It's quick fixing, increasing damages. Quick fixing, increasing damages. There is
Hmm.
no, we are in the microwave generation where things have to be fast.
Hmm.
We don't take time, we don't respect process. Quick fixing, we fix everything quickly. And while fixing everything quickly, we increase damages.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's the problem of leadership today. delay. People don't have delayed gratification. We want everything right now, and that's the same problem in politics. If you find the current war in Ukraine and Russia, this is quick fixing. Everyone wanted the blunt. Everyone wanted influence right away, and we have people dying from that. The same situation we have in Congo, in the Republic of Congo, currently right now, we have rebels all over. Because no one want to follow the process, so everyone directly, and they are able and willing to do anything they can do to get the power and figure out what they're gonna do with power after. But first of all, getting it. So that's a quick fixing
Hmm.
mentality. We fix
So
things fast.
you are saying people want to get power first and then think about what to do with the power. Am I still with you? I think I lost him there, the internet connection. But while he was talking, he said something, and I hope all of us can get this. He said that people want to get into positions and then think about what to do with the position. People want to get into political leadership, political positions, and then think of what to do with the political positions. People want to get married, then think about what to do in the marriage. People want to be husbands and they think about what to do when they're husband. People want to be fathers, they want to enter into it without being prepared, and then they think about how to do it. People want to get into management positions, then think about what to do as manager. But what he's saying is it is important that you prepare for whatever position you are desiring for, whatever position you are hoping to aspire for, whatever position that you are hoping to get into. What he is saying, what our guest is saying today is prepare for that position before you get into it. Prepare for that position before you get into it. Don't try to get into it and then begin to prepare. No, it doesn't work that way. It's been a wonderful conversation. We've lost the internet connection with him. I'm very sure that he's going to be joining us back very soon. Is that we have learned so much. It's been a wonderful conversation. Like I said, he's talked about standing on your principles. Listen, people, I always tell people, you see, you have got to stand on your principles. That is one of the essential things you need to do. Stand on your principles. Okay, I think I got him back. I think I got
Sorry.
him. Yes,
No,
yes.
sorry. Yeah.
We got you back. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us back. You were
Thank you.
saying that people get into leadership positions and then think about what to do with the leadership positions. Am I correct?
Definitely, definitely. They get once you're there is when you start realizing, okay, uh, I must find a way for people to eat. I must provide a future for these people.
Mhm,
So we call it temerity. Temerity. I don't know if it's an English word that says that people are bold to fight for something that they
mhm.
don't even understand by themselves.
Hmm. Hmm.
You have an idea. You imagine how leading will look like.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, come on. We lost him again. I think this has been constantly happening over and over with our guests. And I'm sure we're gonna get him back again. So we go back to the same analysis that we've been talking about, and there is something he said, that principles make people immovable institutions. He talked about institutions around the world, that institutions around the world are built on principles, and this has to do with your personal life. If people know that you are principled anytime, B will be B with you anytime. It says you will last longer. You will last longer if you're a principled person. Someone that people can know that if they go today, come back to you tomorrow, A is gonna be B, A is gonna be A, and B is gonna be B. And that's why he said institutions around the world are built on principles. That's why they are not moved by trends. They're not moved by how much you scream. They're not moved. They are simply moved by their own principles. Yes, I have him back. Yes.
So sorry, I don't know what's going on, but well,
But
hopefully
we,
this is
we
going to
keep
pass.
going. We
Yes,
keep going. I was
very
just
good.
simply trying to analyze again a couple of the thoughts that you have shared with us about principles and institutions. So I want to go ahead and ask you,
Yes,
what
sir.
do you think is going to be or is an important element for any human being to be successful? What do you think are important elements for people to be successful today?
I think today in today world, there's a lot of things that come in play, and it's easy to be. I mean, maybe we should say being successful once or staying successful. Those are two things. Also, actually, I might try and explain. Being successful, you need to work hard on whatever you're doing. Work hard. But if it's being successful for a long time, staying successful for a long time, then you need a vision. You need a
Hmm.
vision, you need a plan, and you need a system around you that sustain your vision. But if it's just being successful and then things go back to normal, you just need to work hard.
Hmm.
Even yeah, you just need to work hard. But if it's to sustain, it's to be successful and go further, you need a vision, you need a plan, and you need a system that maintain the plan.
Hmm. And
That
if you want a short-term success, just work hard. If
definitely,
you need a long transgenerational, I like to use the word transgenerational success.
definitely,
If you
yes,
need a long-term transgenerational success, you need a vision, you need a plan, you need a system that will support that plan.
definitely. You need that.
Go
You
ahead, go
can't
ahead, sir. Go
you,
ahead.
you don't this is the problem. It takes courage to be successful.
It takes
it
courage to be
takes
successful. I believe that.
it take courage to be successful. If you just want to be mediocre, just do like everyone. Go where they
Hmm,
go, do what they do, stand where they stand, and you don't even need to work hard. You just be like everyone. But when it's
hmm,
come to actually, as you say, transgenerational wealth, or you have to pass things to generation to come, you have to make sure that you have a plan, you have a vision, and mostly you have a system that maintain it. Above all these things, a discipline.
hmm,
Discipline is the mother of all success, because often also once you reach those kind of level and you reach a certain kind of level, I've seen this in politics or any other social position. When somebody reaches a certain level, they just like get normal. They just like, oh, I've reached here, and they go back to the behaviors. So you have to
hmm,
train yourself. You have to make sure that you don't have just courage, but you have discipline.
hmm.
That you
So you're
respect the process.
saying that courage is important, but discipline is also essential.
Courage is important. Discipline maintain you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Courage
You
will
know,
help you to reach there, but discipline will maintain you there.
hmm. I always tell people something. I say, see,
Yes, sir.
it takes character to stay in a place for long. It takes character. I tell people, in from my in from management perspective,
Yes,
if
sir.
I look at someone's resume, if I look at someone's CV for some time, I I see that the person's been working in five
10
places,
companies
yeah, 10 companies, and
in
the
a short
person
time.
is 30 years. That means that the person graduated from university, and in the last 10 years, the person's been working in the place 1 year
One
per,
year.
per year. So
Lack of
that
character.
tells me the person doesn't have the character to stay, doesn't have the character to work as a team, doesn't have the character to be disciplined with others, doesn't have the character to stay. It tells me, I was thinking about something yesterday. Polish your CV, but polish your character first.
Definitely.
Organize your CV, but organize your character first. Organize your
Definitely.
qualifications, but organize your character first. Do you think, sir, that as Africans, African leaders, we have the system that will support long term vision, long term prosperity, long term whatever we desire as Africans?
Unfortunately, I would say up to 70% or 75% of countries in Africa do not have a sustainable development growth. a sustainable development plan. Nope.
Okay.
Most of countries do not have them. Most of countries have 5 years plans. It means that whenever somebody comes as a leader, he have a 5 year plan, and those 5 years, that's what he was trying to accomplish. Well, when you reach certain country, you hear like vision 2050. It means they have 50 years plan, 40 years plans. The most of African countries have is 7 year plans, 5 to 7 year plans. So with that, we don't have a sustainable system that can maintain actually a long-term development.
So,
We'll have
what do you think we can do to fix this?
I'll say what we can do, but before I say this, I'll try to give an example. There is what we call Sisyphus complex.
Hmm.
Sisyphus complex.
Okay.
Sisyphus was a man who was cursed. It's an ancient story, the Greek. He was a man who was cursed by gods. And the only things he was cursed because he tried to play the gods. He actually tried to play it, and there was something happened. He's a man, I think you have seen the video, a man taking a stone with the stone until on the top of the mountain. Once he reached, the stone rolled back down again. And then he go back again, pull out the stone, go again until on the top of the mountain. The stone will roll back down again. So on and on and on. That's the curse we have when we don't have plants. And that's I think the problem Africa we face today. And is there a way to break that curse? Is there a way to break that? Yes, surely there is a way out. And this is where I would like also, if you allow me, I'll touch a little bit in the Bible.
Go ahead.
If you allow me, yeah, the Bible says that two nations shall come from you. This is where Rachel, if you have to touch on about Rachel in the Bible, she's giving Rachel in the Bible, and I'll say when Isaac waiting for kids, like your wife is pregnant, she's pregnant. She have two twins in her belly, but one nation will be bigger than the other one. I think you know the story, sir.
Yeah.
The two will come inside, but one nation will be bigger than the other one. I'm just touching a little bit in the Bible.
Yes.
This is why. Why one will be stronger than the other. The system of one will be different than the system of the other. The system of Esau, and Jacob were different. Esau used to hunt. It means he quickly go for what he's gonna eat the day. And when he come back with whatever he gained from there, he will come and eat it. And then tomorrow he go back to look for something else. So on. But Jacob differently was used to live in a tent. It means he used to grow plants and food. So whenever he needed anything to eat, he already have food for 6 months. Because he grow his own food. Esau will go and chase for food. So the country that have a system of going for one product, of going to chase for food, instead of growing their own food, will have to bow down before people who produce their own food. That goes also with minerals. The country that produce minerals, instead of transforming the minerals, they sell the minerals as brute as they are, as oil or gas. Once you take it out of the ground and you don't transform it directly, you sell it in the way it is. You sell it to China or Russia or any other countries. When the product will be transformed, it will be sold to you back 4 or 10 times more. Because the system that lead those two countries make one country to be rich because they transform, they follow the process of making it better. They use a new system, while the country that remain poor still use the same old system, taking from the ground and sell it directly. The rich country understand that if you take from the ground, that's one work. But if you take what has been given or sold to you and transform it, you can take out of it millions of dollars. So is there a way to break the system? I've already actually even give you half of the answer in my example. The first thing is to understand actually that you have to have the courage to follow the process. And this is what we don't do in Africa. We don't like process. It takes time. We see process as something that takes time. And we have to
Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
we have to learn the value of things. Value of things. Minerals as they are. Value of things. We also have that's the first thing, value of what we have been given. We often have been given minerals, blessings that like no other country in the world or places in the world. But the problem is we don't value them. We see what outside is more important than what we have. And from there on, we start failing.
I think I want to agree with you. People don't value processes.
Definitely.
The reason why religion is a big industry across Africa is because religion does not emphasize process.
They emphasize on miracles. Wow.
Religion emphasizes miracles. It
Definitely.
emphasizes that God is able to come in and fix the problem that took you 20 years to create, and that he can come in and fix it in 5 minutes. That it takes
Definitely.
just a spoken word from him to fix a problem that you have created in 20 years. I do not believe that if you create a problem for 20 years, I do not believe that God wants to come in and solve that problem with
In
just
5 minutes.
his spoken word. I
Definitely.
believe that he will give you processes to fix it. But the thing is, why religion is a big industry, a big market across Africa and many developing nations is because we do not believe in processes. So,
Definitely.
since we don't believe in processes, we always look for the easy way out. And the
Quick
easy
fixes.
way out is God is going to do it. And permit me to use the word, we delude ourselves that our national problem is going to be fixed when we pray. Our national problem, our family problems, all our financial crisis will be fixed when we pray. But I do believe that it takes principles and processes to fix all of these problems. If only our
Definitely.
nations, if only our leaders on all spectrum will understand that it takes time, it takes processes, it takes principles to create institutions and systems that support development across Africa. I think our continent will be ready to for growth.
Definitely. And as you said, I want to actually maybe emphasize on that. Most of Africans country, whenever they face war, Boko Haram or M23 as we're facing in the Congo, most of people pray to the God of Israel. Oh, the Lord of Israel, God of Israel, help us with this war. But when you go to Israel, they pray the God of Israel themselves, but they pray and they have a gun in their hands. They train their young women. There is conscription. It means when you are 18 years old, you go to army. We don't do that. Most of African countries, at least in Nigeria, they do that. Most of us as a French country, we don't do that. We pray God to fight for us, the war that he has given us guns, minerals to fight, and the number of youth that is actually too many. But we pray in the face of where we need to act. And we act a place where we need to pray. So this confusion and religion take the best out of it. African
Oh,
pray the God of Israel, but Israel use guns to fight their own fight.
well, I understand that suddenly our life has gone off. I don't know, I don't know why that has happened. I think because of the many
The time.
internet disconnections. But quickly, let me just round up with you, and as we say, um, we can post the rest of this conversation later.
No, no
Um,
problem.
so a man with a big vision needs a woman with a big vision. I hope there's a woman with a big vision around you.
Uh, I will go with the woman with yeah. I will go first of all. That's I think that's one of the things that I also search for in a partner. Is she must have a. I have my plans surely, but she must also have something she's doing. She must have something she's doing. Surely I might help her to become the best that she can be, and she might also help me. And when need be, we might side up on my side and fight on my side. And when the need be, we might side up on her side and fight for her side. The worst part of it is having somebody who does nothing and expect
Hmm.
that being everything for the person. Then that's
Hmm.
become the so there are things like I take faith. into a partner, one of the things I'll take the faith because I'm a believer. I believe in certain things that Himself can provide for me. So I have that situation in life where I have to believe in God, and that's one of the things I ask for. It's faith. The second point I will go for is fortitude. I don't want anybody who will cry when you get before a situation. You might cry, but you dust it up after, and we keep on going.
That's good.
Fortitude. Yeah, fortitude. We might get to what happen if I get sick tomorrow? What happen if I'm not there tomorrow? So fortitude is that internal force that I believe my partner should have. And the third thing is she should be a sparring partner. It means somebody that we can grow together, somebody who understands that I'm a human being. Often we lose humanity before people because they think we are a certain type of way. They say, no, he's a great man. He doesn't need this. So you lose humanity. They don't know that also you need food, some like everyone. Sometimes you need to rest. Sometimes you need also advisors. Or sometimes you need somebody who can stop you in your own
Hmm.
ways. And somebody who can stand against you and tell you you're not going to do that.
Hmm.
So I
You know, the thing is, you're a smart politician. I didn't ask you what are the qualities you're looking for. I ask, is there somebody there so that somebody will know, oh, there's nobody there, I can get in there.
Well, actually, that's a very good question. I've been trying to circle up, but
Yeah.
it seems like yeah, you didn't let me circle in. What I will say is I'm here, but the problem is to reach me. Also, that's the problem. I usually try to like animals. If you see with a lion or eagle, they try to eat their own food. They try to eat the food that they have chased after.
Oh, so you want to do the chasing, you don't want to be chased.
Definitely. So either maybe I'm chasing someone currently,
Oh,
or
great. Great. I
either
know
okay.
she must be someone beautiful. So when next you chase her, say hello to her from those that believe in your country and Africa.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. When she'll be there, I'll definitely tell her. Thank you so
It's
much,
been
man.
a wonderful pleasure chatting with you, having
Thank
this
you so much,
conversation
sir.
with you, all the
Thank you
way
so.
from Congo. I'm so
Thank you,
excited to have had this conversation with you. You have mind blowing ideas. You're a very knowledgeable person.
thank
Like
you
I
so much, sir.
said, I have every belief that with the right resources, the right tools, and the right alignment and connections, Congo having you as a president, as one of their leaders, top leaders one day, is going to be a massive addition and blessing to Congo and to our world. I'm
Thank
here
you.
and I'm here and cheering you on to the top. I'll see you at the top. Thank you for being part of
Thank
the
you so much.
conversation today. It's been a pleasure.